record if they're submitted to the committee clerk by 5 p.m. today. Today we have one witness panel. We welcome the Honorable Hugh Halperin, Ms. Judith Conklin, Mr. John Clocker, and Mr. Taka Ariga. We appreciate you being with us today and look forward to all of your testimony. Pursuant to paragraph B of Committee Rule 6, the witnesses will please stand and raise their right hands. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Let the record show the witnesses all answered in the affirmative and may be seated. I'll now proceed to introduce our panel witnesses. Our first witness, Honorable Hugh Halperin, is the U.S. Government Publishing Office Director, the agency's Chief Executive Officer. Donald Trump nominated Mr. Halperin to be GPO Director, and the U.S. Senate confirmed him in 2019. Our next witness, Ms. Judith Conklin, is the Chief Information Officer for the Library of Congress. She serves as the primary advisor to the Librarian of Congress on all technology matters and is a member of the library's Executive Committee. She chairs the Legislative Branch CIO Council and is the library's senior agency official for record management. Our next witness, Mr. John Clocker, serves as Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for the House of Representatives. Mr. Clocker has over 3 decades of legislative branch experience which touches all aspects of the administrative, financial, and technical operations of the House. Our next witness, Mr. Taka Ariga, is the Chief Data Scientist and Director of the Innovation Lab, Science Technology Assessment and Analytics, and has helped GAO develop and implement advanced analytical capabilities for its auditing practices. We appreciate each of you being here today, and we look forward to your testimony. Let me remind the witnesses that we've read your written statements, and they'll appear in full in the hearing record. Under Committee Rule 9, you're to limit your oral presentation to a brief summary of your written statements. I'll now recognize Mr. Hugh Halperin for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ranking Member Morelli, members of the committee, I'm pleased to appear here before you today to share some potential uses of AI and related technologies at GPO. GPO is fundamentally a manufacturing operation. We publish, produce, and maintain materials for all 3 branches of government. Our 1,600 craftspeople and professionals produce virtually all of Congress's documents, along with numerous other publications, as well as manufacture secure credential products like the U.S. passport. We also provide digital information, either through our own trusted digital repository, govinfo.gov, or by serving data to our partners like the Library of Congress, where they use that data on congress.gov. No matter what you call it, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or a large language model, GPO's operations are just as susceptible to disruption as any commercial firms, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. My written testimony describes GPO's policy approach to this new generation of tools, so today I'm going to focus on 3 potential applications for AI and related technologies in our day-to-day operations. First, we believe these tools can improve our quality assurance process by automatically recognizing defects that a human inspector might miss. We already use a rudimentary form of this technology in the production of the current version of the U.S. passport. GPO uses equipment that optically scans the pages that will become the identity page in a personalized passport. This equipment looks at each strip of 3 pages for variances that exceed the specifications for the material and rejects those pages that don't conform to the standard. AI technology has the potential to further refine this review, allowing the machines to learn what may constitute a natural variation and what's not. This has the potential to reduce defect rates, lower waste, and free up our quality assurance team to focus on solving more difficult quality problems as they arise. I also expect future printing presses acquired by GPO to incorporate similar technology. Second, we see tremendous potential for supplementing our proofreading team. Proofreaders are very difficult to hire, and we need to free them from making routine, repetitive corrections and allow them to focus on more subtle issues that require a human being to interpret. One example is capitalization. GPO style says that we capitalize the S in the word state when referring to a political subdivision in the United States. Currently, we use scripts that perform global search and replace functions on documents to correct our most common errors. Those scripts are blunt instruments. They can't tell the difference between the state of Wisconsin and a New York state of mind. AI holds the promise of tools that understand context and know when text refers to one kind of state or the other. That will cut down on the need for our proofreaders to review and correct material that's already been run through our automated tools, freeing them up to focus on more difficult contextual issues. My final example comes from GPO's public information mission. We've had great success making congressionally mandated reports publicly available, with nearly 200 available on GovInfo. Most of those reports come to us as PDFs. While that's a good format to show how the printed document looks, it's not always the best format for viewing on a phone, tablet, or for those who may have vision or other impairments. While GPO would like to get these reports in more flexible formats like XML, the agencies authoring the reports aren't always equipped to supply them that way. AI technologies hold the promise of allowing us to extract the information from a PDF, understand the document structure, and produce an alternative view that works on different kinds of devices, all without manual, time-consuming work from our team. These are just 3 examples where we see applications in GPO's operations and are considering pilots in the future. All of these are intended to act as a force multiplier for our team, allowing our folks to be more productive and deliver a higher value for our customers and taxpayer. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Morelli, thank you for the opportunity to testify before the committee today. I look forward to any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Halpern.
May I just interrupt for 1 second? As a representative of the Empire State, script notwithstanding, New York state of mind should always be capitalized. That's want to make that point.
I'll hold back on my Wisconsin comment there. Thank you very much, Mr. Halpern. We'll now recognize Ms. Judith Conklin for 5 minutes.
Chairman Stile, Ranking Member Morelli, and members of the committee, thank you for this opportunity to appear on behalf of the Library of Congress to share our work with artificial intelligence. As the library's CIO, I work directly for the Librarian of Congress, Dr. Carla Hayden. We agree technology is baked into all facets of the Library of Congress. AI has recently become a focus in government and industry, but the library began working with AI and machine learning technologies more than a decade ago. The Library of Congress is fortunate to possess data necessary for thoughtful AI adoption. We serve Congress and the American people with a universal and enduring source of knowledge and creativity. We steward vast collections of cultural heritage materials. We also function as the research arm of Congress through the Congressional Research Service and the Law Library of Congress. We are home of the U.S. Copyright Office and have an abundance of copyright deposits, rich historical records and data, and legislative and policy materials in our care. We trace the beginning of our work with AI to optical character recognition more than 10 years ago. We saw the power of this technology to enhance the ability to search our collections. The most compelling example of this early AI in action can be seen in our Chronicling America initiative, where we have empowered users to search more than 20 million digitized historic newspaper pages. We have seen how aspects of AI can help researchers, genealogists, historians, educators, and creators to cast a wider net and journey through our vast collections faster than ever before. The library's AI experiments have a consistent finding. AI, when properly understood, empowers, but it cannot replace humans. The role of people at the Library of Congress informs how we use AI. Every day, hundreds of catalogers create detailed records for material in hundreds of languages to help researchers across the globe navigate our collections. Legislative analysts help Congress and the American people understand complex issues and bill language through historic and legal lenses. Our colleagues in the U.S. Copyright Office promote creativity and support research and commerce by providing access to records of over a century of registered copyrighted works and recordations. For over 5 years, the library has engaged with the public to experiment with our collections data. As much as possible, we make our curated data sets available to the public. CRS has embarked on several AI activities. Currently, OCIO and CRS are conducting a controlled experiment to determine AI approaches that could assist with the creation of high-quality and trustworthy bill summaries. OCIO is collaborating with the U.S. Copyright Office to discern ways AI can help make digitized historical copyright records more discoverable. In October 2023, the library released its new strategic plan, A Library for All. The library once had a separate digital strategy. As a sign of our growing digital maturity, our new strategic plan embeds digital strategy throughout. We also engage in external conversations. The library monitors AI executive branch actions, participates in the GSA AI community of practice, and engages with NIST regarding AI risks. We are a leading member of the International AI for Libraries, Archives, and Museums, AI for LAM. We have also provided reports to this committee on our progress with both AI experiments and governance. We established an agency-wide AI working group co-led by the Principal Deputy Librarian of Congress and myself. Early last year, CRS established their internal AI working group to examine developments, policy implications, and AI potential. In addition to these activities, I serve as chair of the Legislative Branch CIO Council. Members have shared their AI initiatives and discussed the technical aspects of AI. We will establish an AI working group to further explore AI opportunities and challenges. This will enable us to inform Congress on our technological AI capabilities and properly safeguard our data. In closing, for more than 2 centuries, the Library of Congress has embraced the Herculean charge of keeping pace with human knowledge. Computers can perform remarkable tasks with data, but we will always need people at the center of this work if we are to truly remain a source of authentic, enduring knowledge and creativity. AI is empowering the Library of Congress in remarkable ways. More will be accomplished with this technology in the future. None of this would be possible without your continued support. Thank you for this opportunity to share our work today.
Thank you very much, Ms. Conklin. Mr. Clocker, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Stile, Ranking Member Morelli, and members of the committee for holding today's hearing on AI integration, specifically emerging generative AI. With me here today representing the CAO's Innovation Division is Senior Director for Innovation, Stephen Dwyer. And also with me today, representing our cybersecurity teams, is our Deputy Chief Information Security Officer, Adi Adeniji. These two and their teams are at the forefront of this endeavor for the CAO, making sure the House strikes the right balance between innovation and security. Over the past few years, AI advancements have gained significant momentum and prominence with the advent of Gen AI large language modules capable of analyzing massive data sets and producing original human-like content. This technology has transformative potential for House operations. For member offices faced with an ever-increasing volume of constituent engagement and oversight responsibilities, AI has the potential to augment staff workload capacity. It can also help the House as an institution improve business efficiencies. To support its integration, the CAO, with the support of this committee, implemented a disciplined, methodical approach. We've conducted legal and security reviews of available products. As a result of our security and legal reviews, the committee has initially approved ChatGPT Plus for limited use in the House environment. We have established a House-wide advisory group to collect, analyze, and share information about how member, committee, and leadership offices can use this technology. Last spring, our House Digital Services team established the AI Advisory Group because it is important we understand these tools' capabilities and also the tool limitations within the House environment. The advisory group is conducting its case studies in 2 phases. The first phase included over 200 House staffers representing approximately 150 member, committee, and leadership offices. Initial feedback has been very positive. Offices have touted these tools as great for proofreading, as very effective for producing first drafts of memos, press releases, letters, summarizing reports, transcripts, and large data sets. However, they've also experienced limitations. The tools are not quite ready for drafting legislation or producing legal documents. The tools don't necessarily always understand the certain context of social media. And the tools today don't adequately capture members' voice and style. The advisory group's second phase will focus on experimenting within institutional offices, supporting such functions as quality assurance or summarizing complex procurement responses and much more. And we have conducted a governance assessment to identify needed improvements. This is all very exciting, but we need to be careful. The House will face elevated cyber risks. Our nation's adversaries and cyber criminals will use these tools to try to harm the House. Because of this, we must evolve and be increasingly vigilant about the AI tools and websites we access. Just because an employee can access a site through their House device does not mean it is safe. We need to develop AI-specific policies and processes. We need to develop guidance and training opportunities for House staff. And when ready, we need to provide expanded access to House-validated AI tools. Working with this committee, the CAO will develop a new AI-specific policy. It will also determine how our security protocols need to be expanded. There will be costs associated with this expansion. We plan to establish guidance and training opportunities so offices can correctly optimize the use of AI tools. We also recommend offices adopt internal AI policies customized to each member's preference and risk tolerance for the use of these tools. And finally, when ready, the House needs to expand access to secure and validated AI tools. If we execute these correctly and deliver validated and safe tools, we believe these tools will significantly improve our capacity to serve members and the American people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clocker. Mr. Arriga, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Chairman Style, Ranking Member Morelli, and distinguished members of the committee, thank you for today's hearing on AI innovations within the legislative branch. As I previously testified before Congress, we are living in an algorithmic renaissance where the confluence of data, cloud computing, and mathematics is allowing us to do things that were once in the realm of fictions only a few years ago. Today, we can use common descriptions to create images or functioning software codes and extrapolate existing research into exciting scientific findings. Yet, these incredible advances are offset by real impacts on job, privacy, and equity. That is why GAO established the AI Accountability Framework in 2021 to serve as a blueprint for responsible implementations of AI. The framework is a beacon for the oversight community and from which a growing body of GAO's AI work follows. We're heartened to see recent executive agency action towards similar accountability goals and strongly believe that robust oversight is essential as AI technologies continue to leap forward at a remarkable pace. An integral part of strengthening GAO's AI capacity is developing our own hands-on technical know-how. This allows us to separate hype from reality, but more importantly, allows us to grasp nuanced complexities of machine learning techniques so that we can design meaningful AI solutions for the benefit of GAO. I am proud to lead the data scientists and technologists working on groundbreaking AI projects within GAO's Innovation Lab. The 8 described in our AI use case inventory exemplify GAO's boundary-pushing ingenuity. The value proposition is simple. GAO's effective use of AI means we can better serve Congress and the American people. We recently crossed an important milestone with our successful deployment of a large language model. This is allowing us to benefit from generative AI on trusted data while meeting our core values of accountability, integrity, and reliability. We are hard at work to make sure that GAO's reports and recommendations can be summarized effortlessly on any particular topic. GAO leadership can improve interpretation of feedback from our annual employee experience survey to ensure GAO remains the best mid-sized agency to work for. And GAO employees can ask routine questions 24/7 on operational policies or IT-related issues with instantaneous responses. While generative AI has garnered recent attention, we're also exploring internal use of more general AI. One prototype applies neural networks to automate copy editing functions based on GAO's extensive style guide. This means that our analysts can focus more time on refining clarity of GAO reports. We're also looking to embed computer vision models inside extended reality glasses to improve site visit collaboration while reducing safety risks. Through strong internal governance and following the principles of our AI accountability framework, we're using AI to amplify critical mission and operational functions with a sense of urgency. AI is not a technological fad. That is why GAO continues to carry out vigorous oversight and foresight work on AI. Just last month, we reported on the current state of AI implementations across federal agencies. We also issued several technology assessments, including one on AI modeling for natural disasters, and have large-scale efforts focused on generative AI underway. Since 2018, GAO has issued nearly 50 products on AI. Today, we have 20 ongoing AI engagements with many more planned. This volume of work means GAO's capacity building on AI must be broad and holistic. We're strategically using direct hiring authority to expand the cadre of specialists with hard-to-find skills. We're scaling digital literacy and technical training opportunities. We're modernizing our compute infrastructure in the cloud to support the next generation of AI development. And we're keeping close tabs on a variety of AI issues across a global network of academic, industry, policy, and oversight entities. GAO is committed to credibly embrace promises of AI while shedding light on its adverse impacts. In short, we are applying human intelligence to achieve sound use of artificial intelligence. As a watchdog, GAO remains a steadfast partner to Congress on matters related to AI and other emerging technologies. Our data scientists, technologists, engineers, and cybersecurity professionals are always available to advise both chambers and provide timely technical assistance. We appreciate this committee's continued support, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Arriga, and thank you all for your testimony today. I'll begin questions today, followed by the ranking member. Will then alternate between the parties. I would now recognize myself for the purpose of questioning our witnesses. Let everybody get set here. All right. I'd like to start with you, if I can, Mr. Arriga. In particular, your agency, the GAO, reported that the federal government made $247 billion in improper payments, including roughly $200 billion in overpayments last year. And I know the Innovation Lab's been working with the executive branch to strengthen payment integrity using technologies such as AI. I think it could be a real game changer here for congressional oversight. In your submitted statement, you mentioned using AI to organize large volumes of text, like public comments from regulation.gov. Is that the same system or something that could help identify some of these improper payments? Could you give us a little color into that?
Thank you, Chairman. Certainly, improper payment is a significant concern for the Comptroller General. We currently have a project looking at something similar across the federal single audits to identify persistent and systemic issues that may indicate instances of improper payments. And we're sort of extrapolating that to say what might be the future likelihood of those systemic issues continue to persist. So I think this is something that, as long as we can get the right data governance structure in place, something that holds tremendous promise for us.
Thank you very much, and appreciate the work you're doing.